Citizen scientists Makeshift coffee filter arcs help prevent these sparrows' chicks from drowning. Saltmarsh sparrow, Ammodramus, caudacutus at Great Bay, Boulevard Wildlife Management Area credit, Brian Henderson CC 2.0 via Flickr. This is a saltmarsh sparrow, an endangered species of bird that builds its nest in its eponymous habitat. The collaboration of citizen scientists working in Jacobs Point Saltmarsh in Rhode Island is attempting to save the animal which they believe will go extinct by mid-century from drowning in the marsh. In a state of nature untouched by man, these birds would build their nests in higher elevation marshes where the threat of flooding was rare. But coastal development over the last 200 years has seen most of the high-lying marsh cleared, forcing the sparrows to move to low-lying marshes like Jacobs Point that are routinely flooded by high tides. The citizen scientists, under the moniker Needle in a Haystack Society, have for the last 10 years conducted a monitoring intervention project in Jacobs Point that has seen them flood-proof the sparrows' nests by placing a rigid coffee filter under their conical nests of intricately woven grass. The whole thing, eggs or chicks and all, rises and floats until the high tide or flood recedes. Not everyone they've contacted about the project are enthusiastic about it, with one expert pointing out how sensitive the mother sparrows are to signs of nest tampering. But only half of the Haystack Society's work is intervening. The other half is monitoring, and unfortunately, that has involved capturing footage of nests and chicks being drowned by both floods and the highest tides. Featured in a documentary from the Guardian newspaper in England, the Society have gathered findings that remain unpublished, which show the coffee filter arcs prevent nests from drowning in all but 8 of instances, and not a single parent has abandoned a nest after the arc was installed. By contrast, unsecured nests drowned 18 of the time during extreme tides. The saltmarsh sparrow sits on something like a waitlist for Endangered Species Act protections, but the Society is worried that after 9 years on the waitlist, the potential protections will come too late to save the bird. Salt marshes. There's a salt marsh on the east coast where you can see more than 250 species of birds. Although a previous critic of the Society's interventions, evolutionary biologist Chris Elphick at the University of Connecticut Stores recently co-authored a paper in which he and his team presented findings which showed the decline in the saltmarsh sparrow had slowed and the population actually increased. The paper also concluded that sea level rise, though seemingly more inevitable and apocalyptic than other factors like road density and habitat integrity, was not as good a predictor for the long-term population trends of coastal birds than the latter two factors. More endangered birds, first egg laid in the wild buckworm, kingfishers in 40 years, hanging on to survival thousands of miles from home. In this sense, better habitat protections like those that might prevail from an Endangered Species Act listing could yet save this extremely specialized songbird from singing shanties in Davy Jones' Locker. And if that were the case, then the dozens of chicks who were made safe from rising tide by the coffee filter arcs would be able to carry on building their curious nests long into the future, with the citizen scientists of the Needle in a Haystack Society to thank for it.